Let's do a little let's do a bonus real quick. We're gonna bonus it in real quick. So it'll be real quick. So what's so funny is you know, I think what y'all about to start seeing, and I think if you really been paying attention, what y'all about to start seeing, these niggas will do anything for money. In boxing, these dudes will do anything for money. Ain't no God in boxing. Let me say that again. When Andre Ward left, ain't no God in boxing, ain't no principles in boxing, ain't no integrity in boxing, ain't none of that. Ain't none of that. All that is gone. Ain't these dudes would do anything if the money right. These niggas will be Shakur spreader. They will spread their wings and spread their ass cheeks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being dead ass serious. First, it was all this F. Dana White and Zuffa. Remember when Sean Tizell spoke up against Zuffa? I don't know who remembered that. Remember when Sean Tizell spoke up against for the boxers against Zuffa? And then I don't know if he publicly said this, you know. So, but I just heard that he said. I didn't hear him say it, but I think I might have heard him say it. But I know he publicly ended up saying like he basically ended up saying that that none of all the boxers behind the scenes was telling him thanks for speaking up for us, but ain't nobody, you know, speak up for Sean when Sean spoke up for the fighters. When Sean found out, they spineless cowards, bro. They gonna go. They ain't no different than a bitch selling her pussy on Backpage, on list crawlers, a stripper. They no different than 1099 prostitutes. They no different than the women at the Bunny Ranch. Whoever got the bag, they going. You know what I'm saying? Whoever got the bag, they going. So you talking about, oh, you know, he deserved this or he deserved this split, this, that. They don't care nothing about none of that, bro. They care about who got the money, who paying. They'll drop a belt. They'll drop their draws. They'll get on their knees. They'll spread their ass cheeks. Let's keep it a bean. You know, they asked Shakur Stevenson, why did you sign this up for? Oh, man, Dana and them is better people than us. No, it wasn't. It wasn't about the character of Dana, Nick Khan, Zuffa. It was about they had the money. And a lot of these dudes won't be transparent. They go on whoever got the money. Ain't no loyalty. If Bob had the money, they'd be singing Bob praises. If when Eddie had the money, they were singing Eddie praises. You know, and at the end of the day, when they don't read the fine print, when they don't see that they selling their soul to the devil, or they say selling their career over somewhere else, it ain't never what it seems. New York, the big city of dreams. What he still say, everything ain't always what it seems. You know what I'm saying? You know, in a few years down the line, either these guys gonna be complaining about the deal with Zuffa. There's going to be a documentary on Zuffa, or you're going to hear the next generation of fighters that they led down that Mario pipe, you know, to destruction. Because we've seen the pattern over and over again. These fighters don't care about the integrity of the sport. They don't care about the history of the sport. They don't care about leaving the sport in a better place for the youth. They just care about themselves. And I really feel this way. I feel like 90% of these, 95% of these fighters shouldn't even go into the Hall of Fame. They did more destruction to the sport of boxing than good. Real talk. Because Turkey Al-Sheikh even showed you that he don't really care nothing about Ryan's character. The Sandman feel the same way that Ryan feel about black people. He feel the same way. They don't care nothing about character. They messed up Shakur Stevenson's name on purpose, but I think it was for good intent to get him some motion going, because people don't know who the hell he is, you know. But, you know, in general, man, you know, I say this all the time, as men, we cannot afford to not know where the money coming from. These dudes are prostitutes. This is why you will never see these dudes speak on anything meaningful. They never cry or never have complaints. They never cry and never had complaints until they want to galvanize when they're on the wrong end of the stick. You got two guys that got caught juicing. Tell me where do integrity start at boxing? If I'm a child or if I'm a peer And I see two guys that got caught juicing, and probably wasn't their first time getting caught juicing. Probably was swept up under the rug. If I see two dudes that just caught juicing and they just getting this big money, why wouldn't I juice? What's stopping me from juicing? There's no integrity in this. Different. You think it ain't gonna be some loophole, some caveat in there? Ryan Garcia. You think it won't be? Connor, you think it won't be? It is what it is. And as I be saying the whole time, bro. These dudes not business savvy, man. And when you understand why a lot of athletes go broke, and why you didn't see me celebrate Floyd go broke. That ain't how I move. But why they go broke, man? You giving 10% to this motherfucker, 20% to this dude. These niggas got two managers. Shakur got two managers. He got Josh Dobbins or Double. You got Jay Prince. You think they spent 33 in the third? Fuck no. They probably both getting 20% apiece. You know what I'm saying? Like Shakur Stevenson probably coming home with 30, 40% of his purse. And that ain't even the stuff that ain't even the money he probably getting extorted for. That ain't even the money he getting extorted for. Allegedly. So I be trying to tell y'all, bro. G Benson, salute. Shout out to Gary. He said, what's good? See you stopping in support. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Real talk. You can't afford not to know where your money coming from as a man. Because you don't get the I don't know excuse as a man that a woman or a child to get. You don't get that. They don't care. They're going to drop belts. They're going to drop draws. They're going to drop integrity. They're going to drop character for some money, bro. At the end of the day, how many other greater fighters have we seen amass hundreds of millions of dollars? Holyfield, Tyson, a bunch of these guys, and lose it all. Mayweather. At the end of the day, what are you going to have left is your character and your legacy. Everybody always just looking what's in front of him. As a man, I'm going to tell you this, man, you got to be a planner. You got to see it before it happened. And it's hard. And when you don't see shit before it happened as a man, you just feel stupid, bro. And you feel even stupider when you see it, when you know it's going to happen, or you see it before it happened and you ain't ready for it. But, that's just what it is, man. This just shows you whoever got the bag, they ain't no different than females, bro. They roll. It's the bitch at the club. It's one dude who got the nice section at the club. Got the nice Corvette. But now, no, another nigga come in the club. He come in that bitch with a McLaren. Back-to-back Ferraris, bigger chain. He got the suite. He got the whole upstairs suite at the club. Them hoes going with him. Them hoes going with him. That's what it is. That's what these fighters looking like. They're signed with the devil. They're signed with the devil if you let them. Real talk. Real talk. And everybody gonna be over there. And they gonna cut their water off. I'm telling you that right now. But you know what? Also, you can blame Eddie, Bob, Al, Frank, all of them. All of them was concerned about their pockets, their business, their well-being. They were concerned about that. They was concerned about that. Because the way they ran boxing, let me say this, the way they ran boxing, it made no mathematical sense financially. They had to be getting money somewhere. They had for them to go out their way not to make the best fights, to pay the sanctioned belt bodies allegedly, to make mandatories, protect champions. Where was they financially winning at in the sport? And they had to be making money illegally, bro. I was talking to Coach Malachi, and he was talking about Dev. And he was like, with the Rolly thing, they wasn't getting no transparency. They wasn't really getting no transparency on whatever on the expenses. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying that they weren't. I said, how can a company that's a publicly traded company, Amazon, not give you no transparency on expenses? That's why niggas need lawyers.